Hey, Southwest Florida. Welcome to the OffScript podcast. I'm so thrilled that you're here. I'm Shari Armstrong.
And I'm Trent Eric. How are you?
I am pretty okay today.
Well, let's try that again. How are you?
I am so great. How are
Thank
you?
No, don't lie to me. Well, what's pretty okay? How we doing? We a little tired? We ready for the weekend?
I'm ready. I am ready for the weekend, but also just like this morning, the newscast, it was just like we had, some really serious breaking news, and we work hard behind the scenes. We all work hard, tracking the maps and the latest updates. So it's just kind of weighing on me a little bit. But.
Yeah, days like that when it's busy and you got breaking news, especially when it involves a fatality,
Yes.
it's heavy. Plus, what you guys don't see behind the scenes in commercial breaks is we are constantly trying to get the latest information. So when 10 o'clock hits, usually it's like we breathe a little.
Right.
So we're going to have fun for the next
We are going to have
20,
fun.
30 minutes.
You are exactly right, Trent. And actually, Amy and I talk about the fact that this is a highlight of the day for us because it is an opportunity to just kind of take off the news hat for a second, even though we are talking about news stories to some capacity, and just kind of just be. So that's why I like to be honest and be like, I'm not on 10 today, but I'm here on 6, and I'm still going to have a good time.
Usually I look at Shari and I was like, okay, you got to bring some energy.
Yeah.
Let's go. So I'll try to pick it up.
I love that. Thank you so much.
You bet.
So, welcome to the OffScript podcast. If you're watching, hello on YouTube, hello on Facebook, and if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching.
See, I believe in perfection. Is that mine or yours? Is that?
It's mine.
It's yours.
I'm trying to hydrate, okay?
Yeah, hey, that's going to come up real important in one of these stories.
That's right. Preach. All right. So, we're going to start off with this study, and I am curious to know, do you ever notice that I have this fancy pen?
Yeah. little pen envy.
This is my signature pen. It's from one of the schools, Hector Caffaretta.
Okay.
When I went for Read Across America Day, they gave this to me. Read Across America, Cat in the Hat. And so it's like they celebrate, I think it's his birthday on the same day, so they gave me this. So
I thought maybe it came from Universal.
Yeah.
But
the story's way cooler. It came from my friends at Hector Caffaretta in the Cape.
This pen has a reputation, though, because it's missing the bow.
I know. Dang it. Okay. All right. So we're going to start off with this study, which I think is very interesting. Wow. The auntie vibes are giving. Is it a 6 or an 8? Hold on. 76% of 2,000 homeowners feel like they have to be competitive with neighbors for curb appeal. So you know the pressure, right? Your grass might be turning a little brown during drought season, but the person next door, their grass is perfection.
Yep.
Okay. So there starts to be a little pressure, hold on a second. And you see they're out there every day. I mean, our neighbors are like this, their yard is but they're out there all the time. Rain, it doesn't matter what's going on. They are working to make sure that their yard is perfect. I'm like, I just don't have the time,
Or the energy.
Or the energy.
In this time of year, too, it's 94 and it feels like 105.
Trent. And I love Florida, but I'm like, I am not trying to be outside longer than I have to.
Yeah. My dad was in town a couple of days ago, and he said something about, looks like their grass needs to be growed. I said, they mowed it yesterday. I said, welcome to Southwest Florida. Rainy season.
It grows back.
You can hear it growing overnight.
That's right.
So this goes back to kind of the best of the Joneses. You got to have the better car in the neighborhood, the better color front door or whatever. I look at it this way. Make it look decent.
Come on.
Don't bring the property values down.
That's right.
And if you're ready to sell, maybe spruce it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Make it look, a little sexy from the outside.
That's right. And keep it pushing.
But yeah, that's a lot of effort.
Right. So the top categories, right? Top pressure points for homeowners. And I'm going to, we say homeowners, but I know this is based on homeowners, but I also think it's for people who might be renting a space. A lot of people care about what their property looks like too. So a lot of the pressure, most of it comes from manicured lawns, followed by green grass, flower beds, and then clean driveways and inviting porches. Do you have any pet peeves when it comes to, because I do want to say, Trent, you are a particular guy. You're not OCD, but you are a particular person.
So back when I owned my first house, I love doing lawn work. I don't know if it was just growing up in the Midwest.
Okay.
And, I grew up on 5 acres, and I was a lot to mow, so the little yards in Florida didn't seem like that much. But I would, weed eat and edge.
Yeah.
And there were some areas I couldn't hit with the weed eater. I would go grab a pair of yard scissors.
No, Trent.
And I would just trim the last few just because it felt like a job was not done.
Yeah.
And then, like we showed 2 days later.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. But no, I love doing yard work.
Didn't know that.
Now that I live in an apartment here now and have a kid, I love not spending the hours every week doing the yard work.
Pros and cons.
But
yes.
At some point, a yard is going to be great to have him run around in and teach him how to mow.
on Saturdays at 9 o'clock.
right.
Chores. Yeah. My pain point, my pain point, not my pressure point. My pain point is a clean driveway.
Yeah.
I like to see, like, I think I get this from my grandfather was very, very particular about this type of stuff. The paved driveway, if someone's car was leaking and it dropped this much oil, oh my gosh.
Do you love power washing?
Do I love
Yes.
power washing? I know some people get,
Have
come
you
on,
ever
you know
done
me
it?
better.
Have you ever done it?
No, my
Yeah.
mother,
Something
she's out
so
there doing it.
therapeutic.
Yeah,
about just
therapeutic.
about watching.
Is that how the kids are describing it these days?
Well, that's how. Yeah, sure. You should try it.
Okay, what is it? What is the appeal of it?
Just seeing it,
the cleanliness,
the results,
watching it,
like,
yeah.
is satisfying.
Yeah.
Like, and then honestly, when it's done, you're like, I didn't realize it was that
That
dirty.
dirty. I bet. I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. I wish I was like, honestly, Trent, maybe in the winter months, I'd probably be more open to like trying it, but it's just so hot.
It's painting in reverse.
I like that.
Think of it that way.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Anyway, I just think that's so interesting. And it's interesting the things that like we care about versus the things that we're like, I'll pay someone to do it or I'm not touching it,
Yeah. I used to be a big, do-it-yourself guy. Like, I'm not going to pay somebody, but now time with this job
Yes.
and, chasing little ones around,
Yes.
it's like, okay.
100%.
Especially when it's a kid in the neighborhood with some hustle. It's like,
I'm helping-
I'll reward that.
I'm helping the kid.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Oh, you want to mow a lawn for $15?
I see what you did there.
Here's 20. Yeah. Okay. So moving on, we wanted to give you an update when it comes to the piano story. We have this beautiful story done by our wonderful Austin Shagaratsky. Remember, Austin Shagaratsky is one of our community correspondents, by the way. He's covered Cape Coral, Immokalee, he's done the whole thing. And Caitlin Knapp, remember she was on the podcast a couple of days ago. She told us that she got a phone call randomly in the newsroom. This woman was saying that somebody in her church had this beautiful piano, and she and her husband, unfortunately, after years of taking care of the piano, I mean, talk about being particular. They took such good care of this, and then they needed to move, and they're moving into a senior living facility, so they needed to find a new home for the piano.
Not just a piano, an Emerson Square Grand.
Thank you.
I have
You are
never
so right.
seen a piano in person like this.
It is
Stunning.
beautiful. Yes.
And keep those wood pieces in mind, because I believe it was Jean, the lady that owned the piano,
Yes.
that she was saying that as whoever takes care of it and moves it, that if one of those wood pieces were to be broke, they would have to hand carve it because they don't make replacement parts. So they needed somebody with time, some resources to give that piano a new home.
Yeah, exactly. So Austin did the story, we put it out there, and the response was overwhelming. People from outside of Southwest Florida reaching out saying they wanted to claim the piano. However, we found a family here in Cape Coral that the piano will actually be going to. And the interesting part about that is they live partially in Cape Coral or in the North Fort Myers, Cape Coral area, and then they also live outside of the state. They're like snowbirds, essentially.
I think it's Pennsylvania.
I was going to say it's Pennsylvania. And so they're going to be moving it into their Victorian mansion. It is like the perfect piece to go inside of their home.
That piano doesn't go in a new modern home in Naples, It
A new build.
belongs exactly in that late teen or so.
It's going to the perfect home. So we wanted to give you that update because we've been giving updates about the piano, saying that we have found the right home. However, we're still getting emails and phone calls about it. So we wanted to make sure you know that it has found its perfect home. And you can find out exactly where it went to and more about the people who previously owned it by going to our website, fox4now.com, and clicking on Victoria and Austin's story as well.
At one point, the Bennetts were saying that they didn't have anyone to take it, and they found a company that would come remove it.
Yeah.
But that meant destroying the piano. And I was like, nope, I will use it as my weather desk in the studio before that happens.
That's right.
So
We're not throwing this thing around. No way.
Nope.
And it has a story. It has such a story, and the way that they both took care of it and invested into it is beautiful.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Definitely check it out on the website. They said it was the right people, the right place, and the right moment, the family that received it. So thank you again for all of the people who responded to that story.
Take a breath. You said you're like a 6 out of 10 today?
I'm on a 6. I mean, also, when do you see me pull my hair back on TV? You see me as soon as the newscast over, I throw it up into like a messy bun. But today, this is giving like, wow, Shari's on a 4,
She didn't. She's resting.
I'm resting.
This next one's for you.
Okay.
It's a little work-life balance, if you
Yeah.
will.
Oh, that sounds
So
so
sounds wonderful.
impossible.
So some it does. It does. It gets a little to that point of year. But do you know that 4 out of 5 workers feel pressure to stay productive all summer long?
Sorry, I got a weird sound in my in my
It
headphones.
sound like a crowd.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, I think it may be because we're turning our guest's microphone.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay,
All
okay,
right.
okay. I forgot to tell Southwest Florida we have a special guest, but
We
okay.
do. So yeah, work-life balance. Even in the summertime, I know a lot of folks that usually take their summer vacations. And do you know that nearly half of people like to sneak time off, take long lunches or
No.
early exits?
No
from
one
the
is
office?
doing this, Trent.
Ever. Bye.
No, and I also think, oh my, I think something just happened.
Are you a 5 out of 10 now?
They just keep
It's going down.
saying. Okay, well,
And then I know you don't do this, but 40% of people call in sick to get long weekends.
I never do that. If I call in sick, it's in the middle of the week, so y'all know.
Do
I'm
you?
not going anywhere.
I'm not going to say it out loud.
No, just it's a safe place. You can say it.
I am fairly healthy.
I love that
So
for you.
my sick time is usually like I don't want to get one of you guys sick by
Yeah.
spreading something, or
Yeah.
I'm usually like on my deathbed. So
Yeah.
again, knock on wood.
Yeah.
So, and it's also interesting that this is the big one. I circled this.
Let me see.
Only 30% of people actually unplug when they're on their vacation.
We need to
time.
talk about this for a second, Trent. We were just talking about unplugging. See how I came back to 10 on that?
Yeah.
Because I really
She's back. She's
I
awake.
feel very passionate about this right here. If you're going on vacation, if you are investing time into yourself, whether you're doing like a solo travel trip, or if you're going with your family, a loved one, a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, you are investing in time into yourself and into your loved ones as well. And this device, which is so important, and it, listen, entrepreneurs, we have entrepreneurs that we're very close to in our lives.
Yep.
We understand the power of being on your phone, following up immediately, all of those things. But this device can take away from moments when you're trying to disconnect, and then you leave the vacation, you get on the plane and you're like, I need a vacation from the vacation, not just because you were out having a good time, but also because your mind was just so consumed with the
Yeah.
emails and the follow-ups and all the things.
I'll tell you this much. I try my best. I was blessed enough to travel quite a bit earlier this year, kind of getting ready for our busy hurricane
Right,
season and my
right.
busy time of the year. And I made it a point to put the phone down.
Love.
And if you were to look at my social media and stuff, you wouldn't know I went anywhere because I wasn't even posting.
I love that.
I just wanted, I think I told you this off air one day. I wanted to be present where I was present.
Oof.
And sometimes we're not because we're always thinking about what's coming in on our phone, what we're doing. And I just found it so nice to put it away.
Come on.
But what I found out was when I got to the airport and I was coming back, as soon as I got to the airport, I was like, well, vacation's over, right?
You snap right back
And I
into it.
snapped right back into it, and I wish I would have just enjoyed the flight,
Sure.
the airplane peanuts, and
Yes.
just kept vacation going a little longer. But
Yeah.
if you haven't done it before, try to disconnect, especially in our industry or an industry where you're tied to the phone all the time. We're constantly looking for updates, what the latest news is, and we're on our phones all the time because it's now a work tool.
Exactly.
It's not just for pleasure.
Exactly. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of different people are creating content, right?
Sure.
Because that's part of running a business at this point, or really putting on a brand is like, oh my gosh, look at us at the beach, staycation or whatever. But it's like, still take some time. So even if it is a part of your routine, taking time away from it is important as well.
And follow the experts because they say that rest will boost your performance and well-being. So we're going to get you back up to a 10, okay?
Maybe I just need a vacation. Maybe, Chris Shaw, news director, I just need to go to Tahiti for 2 weeks.
Tahiti.
Yeah, so I'm just going to put that out there.
Just for 2?
You're right.
Chris, let's make it 3.
For a month. I'm just saying.
Okay, now I want to go.
It's a sole location. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sorry, this mic is very much bothering me.
Good.
All right, moving on. Did you
Let's-
say good? That's so petty. Ugh. I can't stand you, but it's all love. I actually do love
Yeah.
him.
This next one's all about weather. So
Yeah.
you wanna bump set spike it over here?
I got you. So it turns out that hot weather can reduce your appetite due to the thermic effects of food. And I really struggle with this story because it doesn't matter if it's cold or hot, Trent.
My problem is it's so hot outside. So instead of eating healthy, I'm gonna go have a bowl of ice cream.
Come on, my guy. I need something to cool off like a Sunday, So I'm trying to understand this actual and the science behind it. I know you are a scientist. Can you explain the science behind it? Is this fake? Because I can't relate to it.
No, it's TEF. It's the thermal effect of food, and it takes your body more energy to break down proteins.
Okay.
So it's proteins, carbs, and fats in that
Okay.
order on how much energy your body's spending. So it causes you to be hotter. So when you're already hot, the last thing you want to do is make your body hotter. So your body, without you knowing, naturally responds and says, "Hey, I'm not hungry because I'm hot."
Right.
But that's why I get to the ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I need to cool down.
Yep. Ice cream, slushies, and it doesn't help the Sonic across the street's half price after 5 p.m.
Come here, my guy. Now, this is what in contrast, right? Cold weather boosts hunger, so your body seeks more fuel to stay warm.
Yeah.
And I feel like I relate to that. Like when the temperature's cool, I'm like, that's when I want to make like have a hearty meal
Sure.
or have like a hearty soup or
Like
something
your
like that.
chilies and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
exactly.
And also, kind of the science behind cold tubs, right?
Yes. Oh, that makes sense for people who don't understand. Can you explain that?
Yeah, you willingly jump in a big tub of ice water, pretty much,
Yeah.
and you can make it cold by dumping ice in it, or they sell the ones with the chillers, and get in there 2-3 minutes and brings up your what is that word's escaping me? Not thermodynamics. I'm thinking too much weather
Well,
right
you're the
now.
scientist, Trent. So I'm just sitting
Metabolism.
here. Thank
That's
you.
the word I'm looking for.
Can I just tell you something? I went to a thing in Bonita. Shout out to the sauna house, Bonita Springs. I went with Miyoshi Price. Miyoshi went into one of those tubs
The cold tubs.
like a gangster.
I've done the cold tub therapy before. It's tough. Now, have you done the cryotherapy?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes, actually, I'm a
Put
fan.
Put your hands up, stand there for
Exactly.
3 minutes,
Yes.
and that's good too. But I honestly wish I had room for a cold tub. I've got several friends who do them daily.
Get out.
And they have lost weight. Their energy levels up. They feel like they're younger and better before. But yeah.
Let me write that down. Cryo tub at home. That might be what I need to lose some weight.
Or just get more energy. I got to get you back up to 10 out of 10.
True, 100%. I know. Goodness. Shout out to my girl Ella Rhodes. She was on the podcast. Oh my gosh, guys, was that earlier this week? Last week. Thank you. And she's so committed to telling the stories in Immokalee, Lehigh, throughout Southwest Florida, but particularly focuses on those areas.
Sure.
She covered this amazing story in Immokalee, excuse me, at Florida Gulf Coast University, where some Immokalee students got to go to FGCU. I love community partnerships. 45 middle schoolers from the Immokalee Foundation went to a week-long engineering program at FGCU. They got to design and launch water rockets with the team there, and you get to see some video right here. It was so awesome for these students to experience. There's one moment, look at this. There's one moment where Ella says, raise your hand if this makes you want to pursue like engineering even more or something like that. And all the students raised their hand.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so the students were so excited. You have to watch the story on fox4now.com because they were so excited. And Ella, you can feel her in her stand-ups at the beginning of her story and at the end. She clearly was channeling that same excitement for these students to have this opportunity again to like expand their minds to STEM programs, right? What else could be out there for them to maybe pursue as a career?
I can think of like two core memories from grade school.
Yeah.
One of them was launching rockets with the little, the craft ones with the rocket engines, and by designing it and seeing how far it would go. And then the next year, you had to take an egg, and there was a bunch of trash that the science teacher brought, and you had to design something to protect the egg. Dropped it off the first floor in the school,
Nice.
the second floor,
Nice.
until finally somebody won. But it teaches you the
Yes.
engineering in a fun
Yes.
way.
And
So
you see how all these years later,
just a few,
all these years later,
just a couple.
you remember that? That's what I'm talking about. Like these type of moments, how they plant seeds or
Yeah.
can stimulate something to like further on be like, wow, I all of a sudden love science. Or I didn't realize I could appreciate, engineering in this way.
It made me want to go build one.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, absolutely. So shout out to Florida Gulf Coast University and of course the Immokalee Foundation. We love seeing this, and I'm crazy about community partnerships. It has been what?
No partnerships. It leads to this next story.
Oh, nice transition. It has been a last 2 days of like celebration, like straight up celebration for the Florida Panthers winning the Stanley Cup. I mean, I'm a new hockey fan, as I like to say, and I feel like I want to be a new like Stanley Cup champion celebration person.
So you want to go to the
Because
parade?
I want to go to the parade.
Okay.
I wanted to be there when they won. The people that didn't sleep all night and then went to that place off of A1A,
Elbow room.
Elbow Room. I want to be there because these people know how to turn up, Trent.
The elbow room is a pretty cool place, regardless. But
Yeah.
boy, the last 48 hours, that place has been insane.
Crazy. Did you guys know the cup actually has been dented a little bit, a little banged up from all the celebrations, which is not new. They expect that, they expect this to happen. They say they'll fix it. Don't worry about it. But they have a lot to celebrate. Back-to-back championships. And you know that fans are talking about a potential three-peat. They're already planning for a three-peat next year.
You know, Florida's become a hockey state. You go back, 6 years?
know.
Bolts.
Yes.
Avalanche,
Lightning.
no, not Lightning. Avalanche, Golden Knights, Panthers. I think I got that right.
Wait, oh no, the Lightning never.
Lightning won the first two, right?
Lightning won the first
yeah,
two rounds.
First two, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Florida's.
Do you know what I think? The irony of Florida being like amazing at hockey, I think is just like, I love that so much.
Them celebrating holding the Stanley Cup up, and you see the Atlantic and all the palm trees in the background. It's like,
How is this actually, like,
Does-
how do these things go together?
doesn't happen in Edmonton. That's all I got to say.
Oh, you know what?
Never been. Probably a wonderful place. They don't have palm trees.
They don't have palm trees. One thing that Neha pointed out in the story that we ran earlier was like someone came from Canada
Yeah.
to celebrate with the Panthers.
Well, that's because they haven't seen a Stanley Cup in Canada in 20, 30.
Wow, that is such trash. Your Pacers better win tonight.
Or you're going to give me this much junk
Please
back,
believe.
right?
Please believe. By the way, the Thunders versus the Pacers. The Thunder versus the Pacers. I told y'all I'm having a rough day. Okay. 8:30 tonight. We are going to know if all that trash that Trent has been talking is actually legit, or if he's basically been talking trash for nothing. He's been talking trash since the Knicks were playing the
Now,
Pacers.
in all fairness, I didn't talk that much trash when the Pacers eliminated your Knicks. It was just more of some subtle shade every now and then, and just letting the Eastern
You
Conference
came to
Championship
work
speak
in the
for it.
blue and yellow.
I did, and I wore it
okay?
today.
And you came to my desk and you were like, "Hey, look at my outfit."
I think you were wearing black again that day, weren't you?
Good morning.
I think you were.
Show your
Full
face.
disclosure. But no,
probably-
the Pacers have a tough go of it tonight to force a
100%.
Game 7.
Yeah.
Halliburton has that strained right calf, I believe,
Yep.
and they don't even know if he's going to play tonight. So it may be on
Yes.
TJ McConnell to run the offense and.
Bring it home.
Yeah, just to force a Game 7. If they could just do that, a lot of people thought the Pacers were going to get swept. But
That's true.
OKC was gonna
I mean,
run with it,
listen,
so.
real talk, they've been holding their own, so good for them. We will see tonight. And, Trent, I just cannot wait to text you in the morning and say, hey, that was a good run.
Yeah, even if they lose, they made it to the finals, and I've managed to teach my kid all the chants like Indy.
I'm not doing that.
I tried. I tried to get her.
Go New York.
Anna.
Okay. We should move on. But I do love the bonding for you and your son in that
Yeah,
moment.
that's been pretty
Because
awesome.
you said with the Pacers, and then also, was it with NASCAR?
No, Indy 500.
Indy 500. That, you guys have been, having some really special bonding moments.
We decorated for the Indy 500. He wanted me to buy basketball decorations the other night. So
I
we
love it.
put up basketball tablecloths, plates, had the whole deal. And,
Trent, that's awesome.
and my mom and dad sent down a bunch of Pacers gear for him. So
Love that.
we're teaching them right.
Love that. So that I can say, I can appreciate that about the Pacers.
You ready to bring in a guest?
Yes. Coming to the stage, we have
Ladies and gentlemen, hello.
Hello. I feel like am I supposed to kneel?
I feel like we can bring down her mic just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, are you Oh,
You look great.
The
You look
boss
great.
is saying you should stand.
All right.
This is Miyoshi Price. She is our community correspondent for Fort Myers. I have to tell you, Trent, I feel like I get a phone call or a text about Miyoshi once a week, and I'm not even exaggerating. And I can tell you, her biggest fan is one of the people that's probably watching right now. It's my mom. She would trade me for Miyoshi. Okay, my mom's like, you wear that jumpsuit once a week. She's like, Miyoshi brings out the style at Fox 4, and she's such a fan. But people love you for your personality, Miyoshi, and how much you care about the community. So, and I think that care comes out tonight in what you're doing. So, a reminder here that today is Juneteenth, the 19th of June, and so there are a number of events that are going on throughout Southwest Florida, across the country. And do you want to talk about what you're doing tonight?
So I'm very excited to be on the show because I am the #1 fan of Off Scripts. I
that's
am
true.
self-proclaimed
That is
#1
true.
fan, but tonight is very, very special because it's kicking off Juneteenth. And just quick for people that don't really know what Juneteenth is, it's, a time when slavery was supposed to be over, right? And 2 years later, people who were slaves found out in Galveston, Texas, that they were free. That's 2.5 years later, still being treated as slaves, right? And just think of the mental bondage and the spiritual bondage and the freedom that they didn't even know they had.
That's right.
And so when we do the discussion tonight, they're having a documentary. It's called Juneteenth, Faith and Freedom. And I was super excited about this documentary because it's like going through a journey of spirituality and faith and freedom and how that collaborates and how that signifies what Juneteenth means. Then in the past and now. And then following that, we're going to have a Q&A. And I'll be moderating that Q&A, and we're going to have a discussion as a community. And when I talk about have a discussion as a community, I'm not just saying Black people. Juneteenth is not just Black history, it's American history, it's our history. And this is the educational component to Juneteenth that I think the three groups and companies wanted to do. It was Roses from Concrete Public Relations, Partner with Voices, Alliance for the Arts, and also Exodus Filmworks. And they just really wanted to talk about freedom, truth, what that means for all of us. Sure. Now that we all know that we are free, because the attachment to mental bondage and spiritual bondage is so heavy, even when you're physically liberated. So we'll be talking about that as a group. So bring your kids, bring your grandmothers, your fathers, your mothers, everybody, the entire family. It's going to be fun.
And free.
And free.
Let them know.
And you get free popcorn, too.
Okay.
Bonus.
Okay.
So MC and moderating panel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this girl.
Fun. Listen, I'm trying to live up to y'all standards.
Oh,
Oh, please.
We both said, "Oh, please."
Miyoshi, when did you start at Fox 4?
May of 2024.
So it's been a year.
It's been a year.
It felt like at first, you were new, didn't know a lot about the area, coming from California, and now it doesn't seem like it's just a complete stranger at all.
That's right.
Especially in that Fort Myers
That's
area.
right.
So kudos to you.
That's
for making
right.
those
And it's
connections.
it's right. That's community members. It's even like leadership in the community. People, everybody knows. I might meet someone and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, you should meet Miyoshi." But I know Miyoshi. And I'm like, okay. Everybody knows Miyoshi. You've done a great job. And our news director, Chris Shaw, always says that about you. Like you are such an example of what a Fox 4 community correspondent is in terms of embedding yourself into the community and being like that connection between news and the community. You are that person. And you are also the perfect person to lead that panel tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. So please, y'all show up. It's from 6 to 9. Again, it's free, and we will be having a discussion following the documentary.
Love that. And also, speaking of Juneteenth celebrations on Saturday, there's another one at the Stars Complex. Do you want to talk about that one, the Lee County Black History Society?
Now, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So we have the educational component, right? We're doing this. We're going to learn. But you got to have a barbecue.
No, that's right.
There needs to be boots on the ground.
Come on.
There needs to be entertainment.
Right.
There needs to be music. Song and dance is what got a lot of African American people through some of these huge challenges in our history, right? And we're going to embody that. They have multiple vendors that'll be at the Stars Complex. We're partying from 5 until 9 o'clock.
Yep.
And then following that, it's a big fireworks show. So super excited. But then Shari Armstrong is emceeing.
I'm emceeing. I'll be there from 5 to 7, and then Miyoshi will be taking over from 7 to 9, leading you into the fireworks show. And also, the doors open at 4 o'clock. The program starts at 5 o'clock. So just want to make sure people know that. And they say they're going to have a lot of free stuff, like a lot of swag and things that you can take home, a little fun space for the kids. So it's going to be a really good time.
You ladies are everywhere this weekend. I love it.
What are you doing?
Out in the streets.
What am I doing? I was going to do some laundry, enjoy the AC, clean a little bit.
It's important. I mean, all of that is important.
Catch up on life.
I love it. But I appreciate you, Miyoshi, because we definitely wanted to spotlight not just telling you that there were Juneteenth events, but showing you how our community correspondent, Miyoshi Price, is plugging herself into the community and being an active part of important conversations like that. And so I love that for you and for the community. Yeah,
Hey, got a story idea? You know where to find her, all
that's
right?
right. That's exactly right.
Miyoshi.price at Fox4Now, right? .com.
You got it.
Thank you.
Let him know, my girl.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you all so much for joining the off scrap. So that's like fumble number what, Allie, for like the whole morning? 75.
Trying to co-host that gets a new name. Welcome to Thursday's edition of Off Scrap.
When
We
Trent's
brought
go.
the scraps to come co-host. The normal people aren't here, so we scrape the bottom of the
We
barrel.
need a graphic for Off Scrap
Oh,
with
jeez.
Trent. Off Script podcast. We appreciate you guys so much for being here. Oh man, Trent.
I know Amy's back next week.
I know I was going to say Amy's back and I was going to sound sad. I am so happy to see her, but like I've loved hanging out with you.
Well, now that we've got some extra microphones and stuff rolling around,
You'll be popping in.
I don't want to pop in and talk about hurricanes, but
Right.
I will as the season progresses.
Yeah,
and
of course.
we talked earlier. You need a little R&R, work-life balance.
Right. I
Okay.
need to take notes. That's right.
30% need to unplug during vacation.
Yeah. Thank you for
Maybe
that.
you'll call in sick on one of those long weekends.
All right, Trent.
All right. Hey, get some rest. Be a 10 out
Thanks,
of 10
dude.
tomorrow, okay?
Thanks, dude.
All right.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great Juneteenth. Take care. Bye-bye.